Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this review for the brand new Codex supplement for Blood Angels. So in this video here it's going to be a full review. We'll go through all of the rules and changes. Obviously this is going to affect different units. Some seem to have improved, others that were superb in the previous Codex have kind of been knocked down a little bit as well. That's the impression I've got here. But we're looking through Warlord Traits, stratagems, all of those kind of things. We'll cover the whole lot here in this video. So a big thank you to Games Workshop for sending me a copy of this ahead of time. Check out the channel sponsor here, gamingfigures.com. They do 40k at a discounted rate along with a load of other gaming systems as well. So you better get a hold of your Codex supplement for Blood Angels from them at a discounted price. So we'll get stuck into the format now. Blood Angels previously they ran their own Codex, same as Space Wolves as well. But now they've gone the way of armies like the Ultramarines and the White Scars and so on, just running a supplement. So Blood Angels are now in that format as well. So it's a thinner, smaller book, and you'll need this. If you're going to run Blood Angels, you're going to need both books, the Space Marine book and then also the Blood Angels supplement as well. So it means you've got to get two books now to run Blood Angels, but it kind of makes sense. I can see why Games Workshop have done it. But at least you're getting a supplement here, so that it's going to feature all of the specific units of Blood Angels and some unique abilities and stratagems and so on, just to make them stand out separately from regular Space Marines. So we'll get stuck into this here. We'll flick through the artwork. As per usual, the production quality is superb. Beautiful layout. Doesn't feel packed in. It's loads of space for the artwork here to celebrate the artwork, so that's one of the advantages. Instead of trying to squeeze everything inside one book, Games Workshop can spread things out now into these supplements. You can really get a good flavour for these different chapters. Beautiful artwork here, obviously featuring all Primaris Marines. What I have seen painted up that looks very nice is Blade Guard Veterans painted up for the Blood Angels. It looks beautiful, really, really nice with the red and gold armour. So the floor, the F Company, and then dealing with your unique characters, the Blood Angels, Astrath the Grim, the Martyrs. That's the structure of the Blood Angels chapter. I think it's Blood Drinkers, I think that artwork there. Some of the unique weapons, the ones that they favour, the Infernos pistol, Hand Flamer, popular amongst the Blood Angels as well. There's Mephiston, Commander Dante. I wonder, obviously new model for him, and he's been turned into sort of a Primaris model, but here's one that's desperate from new model. Commander Dante desperately needs to be redone. And Tycho, and the Sanguinius as well. It's the Flesh Tearers. Nice artwork, I haven't seen that one before. It's Gabriel Seth, I believe. And then always enjoy looking through these, just to look for inspiration for different chapters. So Angels in Carmine, Angels Sanguine, quite nice, that one with the split red and black. Lamenters, quite a contrast to the usual red colour scheme. Knights of the Chalice, yeah, some interesting ones. The Atlantean Spears. The Sable Knights look quite good. So some ideas. And then a showcase here of the models. So for Blood Angels I try and go for the more unique units for them. Not your standard Space Marine stuff just painted red, but I try and go for the unique models here, such as Sanguinary Guard, for example, which are still fantastic models. I have to say that some of the vehicles look brilliant. Painted up here. This is the Gladiator, I think, this one. Looks brilliant, painted up with Blood Angels. There's their unique Dragnaughts. And there's the army. Yeah, there they are. The Blade Guard Veterans Blood Angels look fantastic. The new Mephisto model, beautiful model as well. So there's some great model options for the Blood Angels for sure. Just some of their key foundational characters need an overhaul and a resculpt. That would really be a good thing. So the rules then, just before we get any further, we'll call out the rules here that you'll find inside the Space Marine Codex. So you'll find it here on page 95. So Blood Angels get read first. It says +1 to advance rolls and charge rolls made for units with this tactic. So that's a massive help trying to deep strike assault based units in, for example. You're getting +1 to charge rolls. So deep striking in, you have to be over 9 inches away from enemy units. So 9-inch charge. For Blood Angels it's an 8-inch charge. It just helps out a little bit and can be even more potent if you can try and get +1 to charge roll, and reroll charges can really help out with that. And each time model this tactic makes a melee attack. If that model's unit made a charge move, was charged, or performed heroic intervention, it's +1 to the attack's wound rolls. +1 to wound. So 4s to wound becomes 3s to wound, for example. If you were charged, or performed heroic interventions. So those are good rules, really helping Blood Angels out. That was the previous rule there, the +1 to wound, and now Games Workshop have added on +1 to advance and charge rolls, which is very helpful as well. So it's pushing you towards an assault-based army, for sure, because you're on +1 to your wound rolls for melee attacks, and then also giving you some kind of help when you're trying to deep strike in with assault-based units. So it gives you the kind of idea, the aggressive nature of the Blood Angels chapter. So my Blood Angels have had them for a long time now, and I've really tried to create an army that sort of celebrates all the unique models that they have. There's some Primaris, but it's mostly Firstborn units that I have. So I'm looking here mostly for help with an assault-based army. So things that are going to make my units more potent in close combat. Stratagems that are going to help me execute like a decent attack, deep striking in, reroll charges, those kind of abilities. Anything to enhance the aggressive nature of the Blood Angels. Be on the lookout here. I'm hoping to shake up my Blood Angels army, so I've run I think now's the time to maybe experiment with some few things, maybe inject some new units, so we'll see what comes up here. So this is a great thing about when a new codex, new supplement comes out, it gives you a chance just to completely rethink your army, try out new units, buy a few new units to add on to your existing collection. So it's an exciting time, learning curve, an exciting time for sure. So Tactica discussion, leave it in the comments section below, pick out units that you think are good, combinations you think that are good, and it can be a reference for all of us Blood Angel players to try and create some decent units and combinations and army lists. So talk about Successor Chapters, Combat Patrol, Chapter Approved Rules. Yeah, so this choice of secondaries is important here, because I've missed this before. You can pick one of these. You can't take multiple ones from here. But this is choice of secondaries. I love the ones for the Necrons. They're fantastic. The ones for the Space Wolves and their supplement, very nicely themed and pretty good actually for bringing in points. So this is a very important page here for the Blood Angels to see if any of these are any good for them. Okay, so just to see what the options are from the book as well. So we are on the first one's Purge the Enemy. So within Purge the Enemy, usually you've got Titan Hunter. So that's destroying Titanic unit. Bring it down, destroying vehicles, cut off the head, slaying the enemy warlord as quickly as possible, and then assassinate. So some really popular and good ones there. So it's going to take a fair bit to try and shift away from choosing one of those. But Blade of Sanguinius. At the start of your first command phase, you must select one Blood Angel's character model from your army to issue a challenge, and your opponent must select one character model from their army to accept the challenge. Okay, this is pretty good. If either player does not have a character model, they must instead select their warlord. Score 5 victory points. I think this is identical to the Space Wolves one. 5 points in the battle for each of the following conditions that have been satisfied. The model that accepted the challenge was destroyed by anybody. The model that accepted the challenge was destroyed by a melee attack, so it suits the Blood Angel as well. And the model that accepted the challenge was destroyed by a melee attack made by the model that issued the challenge. So you really want to try and hunt someone down. Okay, so I think that's the same as the Space Wars one. I think that's really good fun. And if you're able to pull it off, then yeah, it's quite doable, really. Yeah, sort of. If the opponent's able to keep that HQ away from trouble, you get no points. So if you're going to go for it, you really have got to go for it. So you're going to need units to be able to hunt the target down. Not just your character, but your whole army's got to have the ability to try and root that character out and destroy them. But it's good fun. Would I take it over some of the others like Assassinate and Bring It Down? Depends on the mission, but that one's good fun, a good themed one that suits the Blood Angels very well. Right, so next is No Mercy, No Respite. So within that is thin their ranks, which hardly ever use, grind them down, it's destroy more units than the opponent does, and then while we stand we fight, trying to keep 3 of the most expensive models in your force alive to the end of the game. So there's 2 options here. This looks quite tempting. Let's see if there's any good ones. So Fury of the Lost. Score 3 victory points at the end of your turn if 1 or more enemy units have been destroyed by a Death Company unit from your army. Right, okay. So it depends on if you're going to run Death Company units. Would be useful for a Death Company themed army. Yeah. Brilliant. No, that's pretty good. Then Death from Above. Score 2 victory points at the end of your turn if any enemy units were destroyed by Blood Angels unit from your army that was set up on the battlefield in the reinforcement step of any of your movement phases. If any of those enemy units were a character unit, you score 3 victory points instead. I was looking at this one earlier on. I don't think that's that great because you can't get it on turn 1. So that caps it, I believe. Any enemy units, yeah, I believe at 12 points you can get maximum, I think. And then you've got to keep, it's each turn, so you've got to keep destroying stuff every turn to pick up the points. And that means you have tons of stuff in Deep Strike, so I'm not so keen on that one. So difficult, those 2. Excellent though if you're running Death Company. Just you're getting rewarded for destroying stuff with Death Company units. The last one here, Battlefield Supremacy, which is across this, engage in all fronts, very popular and a pretty strong secondary. Table Quarters, Line Breaker, getting into the enemy's deployment zone. Blood Angels will suit them very well, and then Domination, quite rare. People go for that one. Relentless Assault. Score 4 victory points at the end of your turn if there are more Blood Angels units from your army in the enemy deployment zone. There are enemy units in your deployment zone. Again, that's very doable. Yeah. If you're going after the opponent, you've got stuff going into his deployment zone, it's quite unlikely they're going to have more stuff in your own deployment zone. So that one's quite a tasty one there. So there's a mixture, there's a couple of good ones there for choice of secondaries. So then across here, if every unit from your army excluding unaligned units has a Blood Angels keyword, then every unit that has the Combat Doctrines ability and is a Blood Angels detachment gains a Savage Echoes. The Savage Echoes is whilst the Assault Doctrine is active, each time that unit fights, if made a charge move or was charged or formed heroic intervention, then until that fight is resolved, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of models in that unit. It's an extra attack. The Assault phase, again, a massive incentive to go aggressive and assault based with your Blood Angels army. Just extra attacks, it's just a guaranteed extra attack, which is great. So then on to the Lost. If your army's battle forged with muster in your army, you can upgrade up to 1 captain, up to 2 lieutenant units to be Death Company. Each time you do so, the unit gains Death Company keyword, the power rating of the unit is increased, and so on and so on. The cost then to upgrade the captain is +1 power, +20 points, lieutenant +1 power, +10 points. So it lets you, again, helping you create a Blood Angels or a Death Company themed force, giving you access to your captains and lieutenants. So I guess you could do your semi smashy captain, if that's still possible. I guess you have to go to the Space Marine Codex for that now. But you can get your HQ structures here if you're going to go for pure Death Company army. So A model inducted into the Death Company gains the Black Rage and Death Vision's abilities. So just going to turn into Death Company units. A model inducted into the Death Company cannot be a Warlord and cannot be given any other chapter command upgrades. A Captain model inducted into the Death Company has the Rights of Battle ability replaced with the following ability. So Rights of Rage, it's an aura. Whilst a friendly Death Company core unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time model in this unit makes melee attack, reroll hit rolls of 1, so rerolling 1s in close combat. Hit rolls of 1. No, it's shooting as well. A Lieutenant model inducted into the Death Company must replace its Tactical Precision ability with Tactical Aggression, while a friendly Death Company core unit is within 6 inches of this model. Each time model in that unit makes an attack, reroll wound rolls of 1. So it's just changing the wording around, but the rules, I believe, are remaining the same. Death Company character units are excluded from the Company Command rule. See the Space Marine Codex for that. This means, for example, a detachment can include both one Death Company captain unit and one other captain unit. So, just helping you out with the Death Company structure. So on to stratagems next. So we're looking out for some, I don't know about, it seems to be that stratagems are still very useful. They just sort of help the overall theme of your army. The real sort of golden nugget deal breaker, killer stratagems that we've seen in 8th edition codexes, they seem to have toned them down here, but still the same stratagems can be very, very useful for sure. So we'll see how good these are. Remember, trying to think on the theme of playing aggressive here with the Blood Angels. See how many of these stratagems help out with that. So Descent of Angels, 1 command point. Use a stratagem at the end of your movement phase, and remember, you've got access to the Space Marine stratagems as well. So these are your extras on top. Select one Blood Angels core jump pack unit from your army that will set up on the battlefield during the reinforcement step until the end of the turn. Each time a charge roll is made for that unit, you can ignore any roll modifiers for that charge roll. That is useful, and it's only costing you 1 command point. So you've got some crate you need to try and cross. You can ignore that. The unit's got some kind of buff that reduces your charge distance, for example. You can overrule that. Each time a unit this. So I'm just seeing. You get both of these. Each time model that unit makes an attack, it's +1 to the attack's hit roll. Yeah, great stratagem. So off to a really good start. Yeah, brilliant. Vengeance for Sanguinius. Use this stratagem in the fight phase. And a Blood Angels unit from your army is selected to fight until the end of the phase. Each time model in that unit makes a melee attack against a Black Legion unit, you can reroll the hit roll and the wound roll. So, obviously hate the Black Legion. Refusal to die. 1 or 2 command points. This is going to be a 5+ feel no pain for a Death Company unit. If it's 5 or less models, it's 1 command point. Otherwise, it's 2 command points. Useful enough. And standard Death Company now, 2 wounds each for your firstborn Marines. Aggressive Onslaught, 1 command point. Use the stratagem in the fight phase. Select one Flesh Terror's infantry unit from your army to the end of the phase. Each time model unit makes a piling or consolidation move, it can move an additional 3 inches, an extra bit of move, which is alright. I still think that Descent of Angels is really good. And then Angel's Sacrifice next, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in the fight phase. Select one Blood Angels character unit, excluding vehicle units from your army. So you can't select the Librarian Dragnot, for example. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy unit that is selected to fight, if a model in that unit is within engagement range of that character unit, when your opponent is selected targets for its attacks, those attacks can only target that character unit. So you can try and divert attacks onto that character. That's interesting. It's a clever one. Interesting, that one. Spiritual Might, 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your fight phase, your Psychic phase. Select one Blood Angels Psycho unit from your army. You get to manifest an extra power. Visions of Sanguinius, 1 command point. Use the stratagem when a Death Company character model from your army is selected to fight. That model can do one of the following. If that model has already used a Death Vision, see page 63, look at that later, it can use another Death Vision this phase. This cannot be a Death Vision you've already used during the battle. If that model has not already used a Death Vision, it can use 2 different Death Visions this phase. Neither can be a Death Vision you've already used during the battle. Okay, it's an extra ability for using them. Angel Exemplar, 1 command point. Use a stratagem after nominating a Blood Angels character model that is not a named character to be your Warlord. It's just an extra Warlord trait. Angel Ascendant, 1 command point. So use this stratagem before the battle. Select one Blood Angels model from your army that has the word Sergeant in their profile. Right, so you can give them the special issue war gear. Things like digital weapons and quake bolts and so on. Lucifer Pattern Engines, 1 command point. Use a stratagem before the battle. Select one Blood Angels vehicle model, excluding a Dragnot or model that can fly from your army. That model gains the following ability: Overcharged Engines. Each time this model advances, it's a guaranteed 6-inch move. So yeah, helpful if you really need to get somewhere, especially like you're trying to move out quickly and grab a primary. So that could actually be very, very useful. And then Honoured by the Arx Angelicum, 1 command point. Use the stratagem after nominating a model drawn from Blood Angel's Successor Chapter to be your Warlord. You can give 1 relic to a character when you're actually talking about relics. Red Rampage, right, this is always one of my favourites in the previous book. At least the name of it. I wonder if the rules changed it. Use the stratagem in your command phase if the Assault Doctrine is active for your army. Until your next command phase, each time a Blood Angels model from your army makes an attack with a pistol or melee weapon, an unmodified wound roll of a 6, the armor penetration characteristic of that attack is improved by 1. This bonus is cumulative with the Combat Doctrine's ability. You can only use this stratagem once. So it just seems to be across the entire army. Gets the Red Rampage now, and its 6 is popping an extra AP -1. So yes, if you use it at just the right point, which is the idea behind this, you're just to maximise your impact as the attack comes in, then it could be useful. Just need to make sure you remember that every time you roll. It's easy to roll the dice quickly when you're doing combats, and then just to forget to check for 6s to improve the AP by 1. It's okay. Right. Unbridled Ardour. Use a stratagem, 1 command point. Use a stratagem at the end of the heroic intervention setup for your opponent's charge phase. Select 1 Sanguinary Guard unit from your army, which is within 6 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically of any enemy units. The selected unit is eligible to perform heroic intervention as if it were a character unit. When performing that heroic intervention, each model in that unit can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. So you can swing them in as if they're characters with heroic intervention. The Sanguinary Guard. Full-on Fury, 1 or 2 command points. Use a stratagem at the start of the first battle round. Before the first turn begins, select 1 Death Company unit from your army. It can make a normal move up to 12 inches as if it were movement phase. Must end that move more than 9 inches away from enemy models. If both players have units that can move before the first turn begins, the player who is taking the first turn moves their units first. If the unit contains a Dragnot model, or if it contains 6 or more models, this stratagem costs 2 CP. So you can move Dragnots quicker. Okay, so just surging ahead before the first turn begins. So you've got a 12-inch move, and then your normal move on top of that. And for 9th edition, that is very, very helpful. And it's, yeah, it's, oh boy. Yeah, it is really good. So it's exceptionally good. It's so helpful because you've got, say you've got a big blob of Death Company Assault Marines, 12-inch move. Then it comes to your turn, another 12-inch move, and then Assault, 24-inch move in total with them. Yeah, as if you've got your movement phase. So your first move, you've got to make sure you're over 9 inches away from enemy models, but it's not going to matter because when you come round to your movement phase, you can move up. So that's deadly, that one, and you can catch the opponent out if they're not aware of that one with Full-on Fury. Very, very powerful. Next, upon Wings of Fire, 1 command point, use the strategy movement phase, select on Blood Angel's core jump pack unit from your army, remove it from the battlefield, and then the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, you can deep strike in, over 9 inches away. That's pretty much remained as it was, I believe. Savage Destruction, use the stratagem in the morale phase, and the morale test is failed for an enemy unit that's within engagement range of any Flesh Terrors units from your army. To the end of the turn, subtract 1 combat attrition tests taken for that enemy unit. And that's quite useful, that one. Chalice Overflowing, Blood Angel's War Gear stratagem. Use a stratagem in your command phase, select 1 Sanguinary Priest model from your army. That model can use its Blood Chalice ability an additional time this phase. That's it. That's all the stratagems. I think there's some pretty good ones in that. Yep, so Descent of Angels I like, Full-on Fury is fantastic, Wings of Fire is very, very useful. So Yeah, there's some interesting quirky ones in there as well. One for the Sangria Guard's pretty good. So, if you're a Blood Angels player, leave your own comments. What do you think? So not bad here. Not too bad at all. Warlord Traits, right. So I used to build the Smash Captain with a combination of Relics, Warlord Traits and so on. We'll see what we can find here as we go on to Warlord Traits next. So I'll just do the Flesh Terror ones first of all. So you've got 3 options. Merciless Butcher. Each time this warlord is selected to fight, make an additional attack with one of its melee weapons for every 5 enemy models within 3 inches, to a maximum of 3 additional attacks. Pretty good. Wrath and Rage. Each time this warlord makes a melee attack, a modified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hits, so 6 is popping extra hits. And then Cretation Born. Each time this warlord declares a charge, enemy units that were targeted by that charge cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend against that charge. And you can reroll charge rolls made for this warlord. That is excellent. Yeah, but it's Flesh Terrors. I wish it was over here. We'll see what's in here, but that's a really good one. That is excellent. Brilliant Warlord trait. Speed of the Primarch. So at the start of the fight phase, if this warlord is within engagement range of enemy units, it can fight first that phase. I think that's useful enough. Artisan of War. This warlord can be given one of the following special issue war gear relics: Adamantine Mantle, Artificer Armour, Mastercrafted Weapon, Digital Weapons. This is in addition to any other relics they may have, and each relic in your army must be unique. So, Adamantine Mantle. That's your 5+ Feel No Pain. You can add that on top of other relics, so yeah, that could be useful. Soul Warden, it's an aura ability. Whilst for any Blood Angels units within 6 inches of the Warlord, each time model in that unit would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, it's a 5+ Feel No Pain. But for only mortal wounds by the looks of it. Heroic Bearing, add 3 inches to the range of this Warlord's Rites of Battle, Tactical Precision Chapter Master's Spiritual Leader's ability to a maximum 9 inches. This Warlord has the following ability: Heroic Bearing, Aura, while for any Blood Angels core units within 9 inches, add 1 to the leadership characteristic models in that unit. So that's okay-ish. Gift of Foresight. In each turn you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll and 1 saving throw made for this warlord, and that is really good. Brilliant. Yeah, that's a good one there. Gift of Foresight's nice. Very useful. Save you on your command points. Selfless Valor. This warlord is eligible to perform heroic intervention as if it is within 6 inches horizontally of an enemy unit, and when it's performing her intervention with this warlord, you can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. So I like Gift of Foresight. Creation Born, I wish that one was in here. That one's excellent, but Gift of Foresight's really good. And Speed of the Primarch could be useful as well. So it gives you your named characters and their fixed warlord traits. Astrath gets Soul Warden, Brother Kabulo, Gift of Foresight, Captain Tycho and Tycho the Lost is Selfless Valor, Chief Librarian Mephiston, Speed of the Primarch, Dante is Heroic Bearing, Gabriel Seth Merciless Butcher, Lamartis Soul Warden, and the Sanguinius is Heroic Bearing as well. Okay, so onto the Sangre Discipline. So previously I was running usually a Librarian Dragnot, and I was giving him Wings of Sanguinius, so able to, he moves in the movement phase, then you come around to the psychic phase, he gets to move again, he gets wings, so he goes another 12 inches, making him really quick, and you can launch some really good surprise attacks. And then the other power I was giving him was Quickening, I think it was, where he was getting an extra 3 inch to his advance and charge rolls, something like that, and an extra D3 attack, something like that for him. But it was a pretty good combination. We'll see if this is repeatable now with the updated or new Sangre Discipline. So the names have stayed the same. So Quickening then is a blessing. Quickening is a warp charge value of 6 if manifested until the start of your next psychic phase. You can reroll advance and charge rolls made with the Psyker. Excellent. And you get D3 extra attacks on him as well. So that's still really good. And it's a warp charge value of 6. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Okay. And then I'm just going to go switch down to here to Wings of Sanguinius just to see the combo. Wings of Sanguinius is a warp charge value of 6, so it's nice and easy enough to manifest these. If manifested, the Psyker can make a normal move, or fall back as if it were your movement phase. In addition, to the end of that phase, the Psyche has a move characteristic of 12 inches and the fly keyword. Yep. And that move characteristic, brilliant. Okay, so yeah, pretty much that combo's still going. So that Games Workshop haven't just destroyed that. Those two combos, those two powers are available to work in combination together. So excellent. So I think I'll be keeping my Librarian Dragnot. We'll see, but that's good news. Unleash Rage is a blessing. Unleash Rage is a walk charge value of 6. If manifested, select one for any Blood Angel's core unit within 12 inches of the Psyche. To the start of the next psychic phase, each time model unit makes a melee attack, unmodified hit roll of 6 scores additional hits. 6 is popping extra hits. Yeah, useful enough. Shield of Sanguinius, it's the 5+ feel no pain to Blood Angel's unit within 18. And it's a Blood Angel's unit. It's not a core unit, it's just a Blood Angel's unit. Warp charge value of 6. Blood Boil is a Witch Fire. It's a warp charge value of 6. Select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psyche. Roll 2d6. If the total is more than the highest toughness characteristic of models in that unit, it takes d3 mortal wounds. More than the total. Yeah, it's toughness 5 or 2d6 is very doable. If the total is more than double the highest toughness characteristic models in that unit, it takes 3 mortal wounds instead. So, again, quite doable actually, especially toughness 3. Okay. And then the other one we haven't covered, Blood Lance. It's warp charge value, it's a Witch Fire, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy model that is within 18 inches visible to the Psyche. Draw the shortest possible line between the Psyche's base and the selected enemy model's base or hull. Then roll 1d6 for each model. The centre of the line passes over, and a 5+, the model's unit suffers a mortal wound. So yeah, you can pick up a few mortal wounds here and there. Quite tricky to use that one. So I still like Wings of Sanguinius and Quickening. Pretty good. Okay, on to Relics next. So, yeah, I was going to say I'll skip these, but some of these are different. Right? So, for special issue, we'll give it Relics then. The Wrath of Bale. Sanguinary Ancient model only. The bearer gains the following ability: Wrath of Bale Aura. While a friendly Blood Angel's jump back unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit is selected to make a normal move, advance or fall back, add 2 inches to the unit's movement characteristic until the end of the phase. Not to charge rolls, though. Normal move, advance or fall back. But I can speed up units nearby. Okay, useful, depending on what your battle plan is. Icon of the Angel. The bearer gains the following ability: Icon of the Angel. While a friendly Blood Angel's unit is within 6 inches of this model, you can reroll charge rolls for that unit. So, nice. Bring that character in with your other deep striking units, and you get reroll charges. Excellent. Visage of Death. Each time a melee attack is made against this unit, subtract 1 from the attacker's hit roll, and the bearer gains the following ability: Visage of Death is an aura ability. While enemy units are within 3 inches of this model, it loses the objective secure ability, and any similar abilities that allow it to control an objective marker regardless of the number of enemy models within range of that objective marker. So, tactical use for that one. Interesting. And then the Hammer of Bale. It's a Thunder Hammer. So no -1 to hit rolls, ×2 strength, AP -3, which is an improvement because standard Thunder Hammer now is -2, I believe. So the AP -3 just a bit better, and then a guaranteed 3 damage. So yeah, pretty good. Galleons Staff. So it replaces. No, okay. So this is replaces the. No. Yeah, it does replace. Replaces the. It's something else here as well. The bearer gains the following ability: Galleons Staff. Each time this model takes a psychic test. To manifest a psychic power from the Sangre Discipline, add 1 to the psychic tests. Okay, very, very helpful. And then the stave is then +3, strength, AP -2, and D3 damage. Okay, yeah, useful enough. The Crimson Plate, this is Flesh Tear's Terminator model only. +1 to the bearer's move. The bearer is eligible to charge in a turn in which it advanced. Wow. And then the bearer can move up to 4 inches from making piling and consolidation moves. So yeah, some nice benefits there. Okay. And then Severa. So Flash Terror's model equipped with a Astartes chainsword, it then becomes +2 strength, AP -2 and 2 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, on an unmodified hit roll of 5+, the target suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to any normal damage. And it's each time, so you get multiple mortal wounds come through. That is it's pretty good for swapping out compared to a standard chainsword. Silver is really good. Yes, a special issue war gear. Adamantium Mental is your 5+ feel no pain. Artificer Armour is your 2+ save and your 5+ invuln save. Your Mastercrafted Weapon, +1 to the damage characteristic of that weapon. Digital weapons, that's the mortal wound that you can cause. Quake bolts. So you select one bolt weapon the model is equipped with. When that model is chosen to shoot with, you can choose that weapon to fire a quake bolt. If you do, you can only make one attack with that weapon. If the hit is scored, the target unit is felled until the end of the turn, in addition to any normal damage. Each time a melee attack is made against a unit that is felled, it's +1 to the attack's hit roll. The Archangel Shard replaces a Power Sword or Mastercrafted Power Sword. It gives you +2 strength, AP -4 and 2 damage. And each time an attack is made with a weapon, with this weapon, is allocated to a model in a Chaos unit, the attack has a damage characteristic of 3. Each time an attack is made with this weapon allocated to a model in a Chaos monster unit, it's damage 4. Okay, so if you find yourself always up against Chaos at your local games club, then the Archangel Shard might be a good option to go for. Pretty good actually, damage 4. The Flash Render Grenades. So model equipped with model equipped with frag grenades only. This relic replaces frag grenades and has the following profile. So range 6, grenade D3, strength 5, -3, 2 damage, and it's a blast weapon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, the target does not receive the benefit of light cover against that attack. And then Gleaming Pinions. The bearer is eligible to charge in the turn in which it fell back, and you can reroll charges made for the bearer. That's very, very useful for Blood Angels as well. So relics seem pretty good. No complaints really. No, it's a great relics there. So all looking pretty good here. So on to Crusade. I'm not going to go through Crusade because I'm not familiar with it at all. But there's the rules for Crusade. There they are again. The Blade Guard Veterans, the Blood Angels. Looking very nice. Name generator. Honours. Okay, so we're across here to data sheets. So, units data sheet will list all the abilities it has. Certain abilities are common to many units, are only referenced on data sheets rather than described in full. So, Black Rage. So, unit that has Black Rage. In your movement phase, each time this unit is selected to move, it cannot fall back. Interesting. Makes sense though, that they wouldn't want to fall back. Each time this unit fights, if it made a charge move or heroic intervention, not if it was charged though, only if it performed heroic intervention or made a charge, then until the fight is resolved, you get +1 attack. Each time a model in this unit would lose a wound, it's 6+ feel no pain, and this unit cannot perform any actions as described in the 40k core book. Oh. So be careful what stratagems you go for if you're running pure Death Company. Okay, you can't fall back though. Interesting. Makes sense though, I think. Then Death Visions. So once per battle, when this model is selected to fight, it can use one of the Death Visions listed below. The same Death Vision cannot be used more than once per battle, and there's 3 of them available. So a model can only use this Death Vision if any enemy infantry character or monster character models are visible to it. If a model uses this Death Vision, then until that fight is resolved, add 1 to the attack's characteristic for every 5 models within 6 inches of it. Each time that model makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. So they just go nuts when they're in close combat. So if a model uses this Death Vision, then until that fight is resolved. So does it go on from one turn to the next? Don't know. This one's called On the Bridge of the Vengeful Spirit. So is it does it keep going until that melee is entirely resolved? So it could stretch from one turn to the next. That's what I'm wondering with that one. Next one's the Grace of the Angel. A model can only use this Death Vision if any enemy infantry character or monster models are within engagement range of it. If a model uses this Death Vision, then until the end of that turn, the model has a 3+ invuln save. Nice. Very helpful. God. And then to slay the War Master, a model can use this Death Vision if any enemy infantry character or monster character models are within engagement range of it. If a model uses this Death Vision, then instead of making any attacks to that fight, both players roll off. If you win, select one of those enemy models. That model suffers D3 plus 3 mortal wounds. So they're quite tasty, these Death Visions. Interesting. Okay, that's those extra abilities there, and now we're on to the data sheets now for the Blood Angels. So I will go through these, sort of skimming through as quick as I can, but I'll try and pick out, I'll sort of need to go through these quite carefully because there's probably going to be some changes. Well, there are going to be changes probably for all of these. So Dante, power level 9. He's 175 points now for him. 12-inch move, weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4. He's got 6 wounds, 6 attacks base, which is brilliant. 2 up save, leadership 9. Inferno pistol, usual rules for that. 6-inch melter pistol with the D6 plus 2 damage if you're in range 3 in this case. The Axe Mortalis, plus 3 strength. He's going to fight at strength 7, AP -3, 2 damage. You get Death from above, Angel's Death. The Death Mask of Sanguinius. Each time an attack is made for this model, subtract 1 for the attacks against this model, sorry, so it's -1 to hit him. And it's an attack, so I think that's shooting or close combat. He's got the 4+ invuln save. He's got the Lord Regent of the Imperium Nihilus. If your army is battle forged, then when you select this model to be your warlord, you receive an additional command point. Nice. Chapter Master. If you, in your command phase, select one for any Blood Angel's core or Blood Angel's character unit within 6 inches. To start of your next command phase, each time model that unit makes an attack, you reroll the hit roll. Nice. Rites of Battle. It's an aura ability. Core units reroll hit rolls of 1. And Epic Hero of the Imperium. Once per battle, this model is selected to use an Epic Deed stratagem. That stratagem costs 0 command points. So great stats for him. But the model is ridiculous. Games Workshop have to replace this model. The model must be 20 years old. Yep. And you know, can you imagine the model that Games Workshop could replace him with? You know, the sculpting work, the golden plate armor, and you know, some real pose where he's pushed right up, standing on top of some ruins or something, just really raised up high, and the glinting golden armor. It would be an incredible model if Games Workshop did re-release Commander Dante, as they've done with some other characters from, such as Jane Zar, for example. Amazing job that Games Workshop did with that. Drazar, Master of Blades, another incredible model. So Dante needs that treatment for sure. Gabriel Seth, 160 points. I think he was that previously. 6-inch move, 2+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds for him as well, 5 attacks, 3 up save, leadership 9. He's got a bolt pistol and the Blood Reaver is ×2 strength, so strength 8, -2, 3 damage, 4+ invuln save, Angels of Death, Whirlwind of Gore. At the end of the fight phase, if this model is within engagement range of any enemy units, it can fight again. Okay, wow. Lord of Slaughter, it's an aura ability. Model friendly flesh tearers core unit is in 6 inches. Each time model that unit makes a melee attack, an unmodified wound roll of 6, the damage characteristic of that attack is increased by 1. Nice. Chapter, that's very useful. Trying to chop through a vehicle, for example, just getting that extra bit of damage. Chapter Master. In your command phase, select one for any flesh tearer's core or character unit within 6 inches. At the start of the next command phase, let's reroll the hit roll, as seen previously. Then Rites of Battle, you reroll hit rolls of 1 as well for core units within 6 inches. So I seem to standardise your benefits here, getting sort of your captain abilities being added on. This is all good. This is all looking very healthy for these characters. The Sanguinius next. Again, Games Workshop should, I think, resculpt this one as well. Beautiful plastic, massive wings, similar to how they did Celestine the Living Saint. That kind of scale. The Sanguinius look fantastic. And he's 150 points. He's quite cheap, actually. 12-inch move, weapon skill, ballistic skill, 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 5 attacks, 2 up save, leadership 9. Then Carmine Broadswords, +2 strength. He fights at strength 6, -4, 2 damage. And a modified wound rolls of 6 is an immortal wound in addition. He then gets Aura of Fervor, so 6-inch aura ability for core units or character units within 6 inches. Each time that unit fights, until that fight is resolved. Again, what is this term here? It must mean fight just goes on and on from one turn to the next, I believe. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of models in that unit. This is not cumulative of the additional attack granted by the Shock Assault ability. Not cumulative. Duh. Okay, that's a shame. Angelic Visage. Each time melee attack is made against this model, it's -1 to the hit roll again. 4+ invuln save. Miraculous Saviour. The end of the heroic intervention step of your opponent's charge phase. If this model has not yet been set up on the battlefield, and if any enemy units finish to charge within engagement range of any friendly Blood Angels units this phase, you can set up this model within engagement range of one of those enemy units. Okay, this model counts as having performed heroic intervention in a turn in which it uses this ability. Wow, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. It's very fluffy for the storyline behind the Sanguinius, where he just turns up. So he's able to deep strike in. If you have him in reserve, he hasn't arrived yet, he can arrive on the board and miraculously intervene within engagement range of that enemy unit. That's crazy. That's a massive thing, that is. Wow. Very, very... God, it's a very strong ability, that one. Really good. Then Avenging Angel. This model is eligible to declare a charge even if it fell back this turn. This model is eligible to form a heroic intervention if it's within 6 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically of any enemy unit instead of 3 and 5 vertically. Each time this model makes an heroic intervention move, it can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. All of the rules for heroic intervention still apply. Yes, there's good stats and abilities here for the Sanguinius, and it's quite cheap. It's a shame about that Aura of Fervor can't be combined with Shock Assault. Brother Corbulo, another model that desperately needs a resculpt. Some say, well, the Sanguinius Priest model here can pretty much replace him, but Games Workshop do separate the two. So another model that... Yeah, Games Workshop need to replace this one as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3 models. Famous Blood Angel models that need a resculpt. And this model here, the Brother Corbulo model, is ancient. Years and years old. 2+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, base. Heaven's Teeth, +1 strength, AP -2 and 1 damage. And then it's got Angels of Death and the Red Grail. Brother Corbulo is 115 points. While a friendly Blood Angel's core or character unit is excluding vehicles is within 6 inches of this model, if the Tactical Doctrine, Devastator Doctrine is active for your army, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, the Assault Doctrine is considered to be active for that attack instead. That is very, very useful. And then Officium, Aura, on friendly Blood Angels, Infantry or Biker models within 3 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit would lose a wound, it's a 6+ feel no pain. So it's quite tight though, it's 3-inch Aura on that one. And then Combat Restoratives. At the end of your movement phase, this model can heal 1 friendly Blood Angels, Infantry or Blood Angels Biker model, whose unit is within 3 inches of it. Model regains up to D3 lost wounds. Each model can only be healed once per turn. And Sanguinary High Priest. At the end of your movement phase, this model can use its Combat Restoratives ability twice instead of once. That's built into his profile. Pretty good. Okay. Your standard Sanguinary Priest is 90 points. So if you give him a jump pack, it's another 30 points on top of that. It's 120 points for that one. Weapon skill is 2+ for him. 4 wounds, 3 attacks. Chainsword, jump pack. So he gets an Officium, Combat Restoratives, and the Blood Chalice as well, which is counting as Assault Doctrine. So he's got much of the abilities that Brother Kabulo has. Chief Librarian Mephiston. 155, pretty cheap. It's Primaris model. 7-inch move, interesting. 2+ for your weapon skill, ballistic skill. Strength 5, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, 2 up save. Leadership 9. Your plasma pistol. And then the Vitaris. ×2 strength, so strength 10. 8 -3, D3 damage. Lord of Death, each time this model would lose a wound. It's a 5+ feel no pain. And he's got Psychic Hood. You can manifest 2 psychic powers. And that's it. There's not much else going on with him. You manifest 2 and deny 2. And that's it. So not much going on for abilities here with him. Just the 5+ feel no pain. No invuln save. Okay. The Librarian Dragnot. Yeah, it's there's one problem here, and that is his weapon skill has changed. I'm sure it was 2s. It's now 3+. Ballistic skill 3+ as well. Usual Dragnot stat line, 4 attacks base. Meltagun Stormbolt. Furioso Fist is now ×2 strength, 8 -3, 3 damage, which is pretty good. Furioso Force Halberd is +2 strength, so strength 8, -3, D3 +3 damage. So it's nastier than the fist, but each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon, and no more than 1 attack can be made with this weapon. So you stab once and then use the fist now. You can't just do all your attacks with the halberd. It's a bit of a shift. But the fist is great anyway, so you can the damage output is still brilliant. So if you start stacking stuff on top. Okay. Just got to watch out for that 3+ to hit though. Okay, Angel's Death, Psychic Hood, Duty Eternal, which is a massive help to Dragnots down -1 damage and explodes. Manifest 2 psychic powers and deny 1. I still like the Furioso Dread with the help of those psychic powers. It's a decent unit. Okay. I mean, he's not quite as good as he was, not quite as good, but still pretty good. Astrath then. Let's just get Librarian Dragnot's 150 points, Heavy Flamers 5 points, Meltagun 5 points, that's about it. Okay. Astrath is 150 points. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+. It's got 5 wounds, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 attacks base, only for him, 2 up save. The Executioner's Axe is +2 strength, strength 6, -3 and 3 damage. So he's a character killer for sure. 4+ invuln save. He has spiritual leaders, so they can use his leadership instead of their own for any Blood Angels core units within 6. And Redeemer of the Lost, Blood Angels Death Company, units within 6 inches. Each time a round test is taken for the unit, the test is automatically auto pass morale, which is all right. Okay, so the model knows the Litany of Hate and the Massive Doom, and 2 other litanies from the Litanies of Battle from Codex Space Marines. In your command phase, if this model is on the battlefield, it can recite up to 2 litanies it knows that have not already been recited by a friendly model that battle round. Roll 1d6 on a 3+. The litany is inspiring and lasts through to the start of next command phase. So, the Massive Doom. If this litany is inspiring, select one for any Blood Angels core, Blood Angels character unit, excluding vehicles, whilst within 6 inches of this priest model. Roll 1d6 and apply the result below. So, if you roll a 1, it's Merciful Execution, 1 model in that unit is destroyed. Each time model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the attack's hit roll. Right, so you still get your attacks, great. Next, 2 to 5, Dark Wrath. Each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, it's +1 to the hit roll. Okay, so you just don't lose the model. And then Vessel of Sanguinius. Models in the unit have a 4+ invuln save. Each time model in that unit makes a melee attack, it's +1 to the hit roll. Okay, so it's pretty rare you're going to get the 4+ invuln save, but basically just try and get an extra attack, which you will no matter what you roll. Lamates. Always like the model here, bit of a newer sculpt to a degree. Weapon skill is 2+ for him, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 4 attacks. The Blood Crozier is +2 strength, 8 -2 and 2 damage. He's got Angel's Death, Death from Above, Black Rage, Fury Unbound, while a friendly Blood Angels Death Company, Core or Blood Angels Death Company character models within 6 inches, you can reroll charge rolls for that unit. It's very useful. It's a jump out model, so you can deep strike down. And then, or if you're bombing it up the table, Light of the Dark is an aura ability. Whilst a friendly Blood Angels Death Company units within 6 inches of this model, you get his leadership, which is leadership 9. Rosarius, 4+ Invuln save, Guardian of the Lost. Each time this model recites a listening, if that listening instructs you to select a friendly unit, that unit must have the Death Company keyword, in addition to any other required keywords, or it cannot be selected. Each time this model recites listening, if that listening is an aura ability, then units are only affected by that ability if they have the Death Company keyword. Right, so he has to just help Death Company units. He knows Listening of Hate and 2 other listeners from Listeners of Battle. And he is rolling on a 3+. Yep. So there he is. Okay. And it's in your command phase, so it's a little bit tricky because you don't get to recite if you're currently off the table. This is a problem. I'm not a big fan of listeners and rolling up to recite them. I'm not so keen on that mechanic and the way that rule works, but because it can mess stuff up a little bit. But okay, we'll move on to Captain Tycho. It's 2+ for weapon skill and ballistic skill, 5 wins, 4 attacks. Lamates is 120 points for him. Captain Tycho is 95 points. Tycho the Lost is 100. Stat line's identical. Yeah. So the Blood Song. Selecting a profile, you can go for Mastercrafted Bolt Gun, range 24, rapid fire, 1 strength for -1/2 damage. It's not that scary really. The melter gun option there available as well, range 12. Dead Man's Hand, strength for the user, which is strength 4, AP -3 and 1 damage. Rites of Battle, reroll hit rolls of 1 for Blood Angels core units within 6 inches. Abhor the Beast, each time this model makes an attack against orcs, it's +1 to the strength and damage characteristic of that attack, and it's a 4+ Invuln save for him. And then Tycho the Lost. Again, it's another model that desperately needs a resculpt. These models are ancient. Okay. Which is a shame, because like, supporting units like the Sangre Guard are nice sculpts, in plastic, beautiful models. And yet, the heroes that they're meant to protect and surround in games are old models. So, yeah, it's nice to have new stuff from Games Workshop. Which is great, you know, new Necron models are amazing, brand new units, brand new sculpts, fantastic, but Games Workshop would do well to get these resculpted. Tycho the Lost then is just going to gain Black Rage, Death Visions. And then Forlorn Hero, which is real hit rolls of 1, Death Company core units, yeah. Sanguinary Guard. Base cost. Sanguinary Guard. They're 30 points each base. You're paying 5 points for an Inferno Pistol, 5 points for Plasma, 5 points for a Power Fist. It looks like the blades are incorporated within the cost of those. And the axes and so on. Okay. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+. They got 2 wounds each now for your Marines. 3 attacks base for them. I think that's gone up. I think there used to be 2 attacks. I could be wrong. But 3 attacks base for those. Still keep their 2+ armor save. Obviously they are jump infantry with their 12-inch move. And I'm just going to go down to the profiles for the Incarmine Axe. So it's +2 strength, AP -2 and 2 damage. And the Incarmine Sword is +1 strength, just tips you over to strength 5, which is nice for your +1 to your wound rolls. But AP -3 and damage of 2. I like the sword. The Power Fist, -1 to hit rolls, ×2. Yeah, it's tricky there with the fists. -1 to hit rolls, if you're forced to hit. I like the sword. Any number can take pistols and plasma pistols, inferno pistols, and any number of models can take axes and fists. So, any other kind of bonuses going on here with these? Flat 30 points each, nice equipment. Each time melee attack is made against this unit, subtract 1 for the attack's hit roll. Nice. And then Heirs of Ascalon, each time model in this unit makes an attack. If that model's unit is within 6 inches of any friendly Blood Angels Warlord models. It's +1 to attacks hit roll. +1 to hit rolls. Nice. So it's going to help out Power Fists, and it's going to give you 2s to hit. It's a core unit, so you've got some kind of captain nearby helping out, rerolling 1s. 2s to hit, rerolling 1s. Nice. These are good. I like Sangria Guard. I'm going to try and bring them back into my list, and yeah, great. No, brilliant. Flat damage too. Nice. No, these are good. Sangre Guard are okay. I think they're pretty good actually. Not bad at all. Brilliant. The Sanguinary Ancient. Ends 4 wounds, 3 attacks for him. Going down here. Chapter Banner. In your command phase, select on friendly Blood Angels core unit within 6 inches until your next command phase. Each time model unit makes an attack, it's +1 to attacks hit rolls. So there's another way of getting +1 attack. Then you're running Angelic Visage, -1 to attacks hit roll. As a Scallion, +1 to hit roll as well if you're in 6 inches of Warlord models. So you kind of want these to land in with your Warlord, whoever that is. The start is Banner. On a friendly Blood Angels core unit is within 6 inches of this model, add 1 to the leadership characteristic of models in that unit. In addition, each time a model in such unit is destroyed by an attack made by an enemy model, roll 1d6. On a 4+, do not remove the destroyed model from play. You can, after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks, either shoot to one of its ranged weapons. Now, this is interesting. As if it were the shooting phase. I'll come back to this in a second. Or make 1 attack with one of its melee weapons, as if it were the fight phase. Oh, right, okay. Now this is okay. After resolving these attacks, the destroyed model is removed. So, you only get to make 1 attack in close combat with one melee weapon, not the unit or the model gets to fight again. What's dangerous here is if you equip a unit with Inferno pistols, you get to shoot again. It's quite tight though, but that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, useful. Sanguinary Ancients, useful enough. So next is the Death Company Dragnot. Let's just get my points values here. So Sanguinary Ancient is 125 points for that single model. God, what? 5 points in Inferno Pistol, 5 points of Plasma. That's a crazy price. 125 points just for him. No, so I'd probably skip him and just take a Warlord with Sanguinary Guard, and that would pretty much be good enough. Yeah, because you can get, for 1 Sanguinary Ancient model, you can get 4 Sanguinary Guard. Crazy price that. Death Company Dragnot, 125 points, quite cheap. Blood Talons 5 points, Heavy Flamer 5 points, Magna Grapple 5 points, Melter Gun 5 points. So 6-inch move, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, usual stat line, 5 attacks base, 3 up save. Blood Talons is +4 strength, fights at strength 10, -2, 3 damage. Each time attack is made with this weapon, you can reroll the wound roll. And you're on +1 to wound on top of that as well, so 2s to wound, rerolling 1s, nice. 5 attacks base, really good. Furiosa Fist. Alright, Magna Grapple, rules have changed I think for this. Each time an enemy vehicle unit, excluding aircraft, is selected to fall back whilst it is within engagement range of the bearer, you can engage the bearer's Magna Grapple. So now you're trying to stop stuff from running away. Vehicles at least. If you do, roll 2d6. If the result is less than the strength characteristic of that enemy unit, it can fall back normally. Otherwise it cannot fall back this phase and must remain stationary instead. So yeah, it's alright. It's quite rare it's going to happen in the game, I think. So I probably wouldn't bother with a Magna Grapple. And then smoke launchers, if you go for that, the bearer has the smoke screen keyword. The models 2, that's just your loadout you can go for. It's got Black Rage, Duty Eternal, the -1 to the damage as well. Yeah, quite viable. Dragnot. There's some stratagems and things just to help it out a little bit as well. Death Company Marines. So there's not much to say about them, just the fact that there's still 2 attacks at base and obviously up to 2 wounds each now as well. And Death Company Marines will cost 22 points each. 5 points for a Hand Flamer, ouch. Inferno Pistols 5 points, Jump Packs 3, Planetary Pistol 5, Power Axe 5, Power Fist 10, Power Maul 5, Power Sword 5, and the Thunder Hammers 15. don't need to go for any of that. Just giving you a loadout. They've got Black Rage and Angels of Death. Your Death Company Intercessors are giving you the same stat line, but 3 attacks. And they're 24 points each. 5 points to start his grenade launcher. Other war gear as seen previously. War gear available to them. Fund Hammer is available, but it's 20 points. Power Sword 5 points. Power Fist 10. Pleasure Pistol 5. And Flamer 5. Nothing else to say with them. The Furioso Dragnot. Usual stat line. 4 attacks base. So the heavy frag can, let's just give you a points cost here. So 120 points for the Dragnot, quite cheap, I think. Blood Tanners 5, Heavy Flamer 5, Magna Grapple 5, Melter Gun 5. So that's your extras. So you can do the loadout quite cheap on him if you don't do it. So it comes with a heavy frag cannon built into the points cost. Range 18. Have they improved that? I wonder if that was range 12 previously. It's heavy 2d3, so between 2 and 6 shots. Okay, it's just blast. There's no auto hits of this. Strength 7 -1, 2 damage. So it has changed around. Other stats already covered. Magna Grapple already covered. Duty Eternal. Yep, it's got Furioso combat weapons. If this model is equipped with 2 Furioso fists or 2 blood talons, it's +1 to its attacks characteristics. An extra attack available for taking 2 of them. Furioso fist is just the same as the usual, I think, for blood angels or Dragnot close combat weapon. ×2 strength, 8 -3, 3 damage. Okay. Next, the Val Predator. It's 120 points. 15 points per heavy bolter, I think. 15 points for heavy flamer. Hunter Killer Missile, 5 points. Storm Bolter, 5 points. Ouch, Storm Bolter's 5 points. And then Twin Assault Cannon, 10 points. Okay. Cheap. Yeah. So, there's not much to cover here. It's 11 wounds for this thing. Usual stat line for a vehicle. The Bale Flamestorm Cannon is range 18, heavy d6. It's auto hits on the target, strength 6 -2 and 2 damage. Yep. Heavy bolters damage 2 now. Twin Assault Cannon, usual rules for that. And it comes with overcharged engines, so each time this model advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, it's a guaranteed 6-inch move. Okay, so that's alright. The downside of it is your heavy weapons. Even your Flamestorm Cannon, heavy flame are all heavy, so it's a bit annoying for shooting with that. Okay, do love the Val Predator, and really, if you keep the heavy bolters off, it's cheap. It's a cheap vehicle if you keep the heavy bolters away, but maybe you want the extra decker. But okay, and that's your weapon profiles and your points values, and that is the review for Codex Supplement Blood Angels. So, I seems alright to me. The Blood Angels supplement seems okay. Seems like Games Workshop have really done their best to keep things sensible here, which bodes well for 9th edition. It seems that the codexes, unless I'm getting it wrong, but it seems to be that with these codexes coming out, the rules just seem quite sensible for everything. Seems quite measured in their approach. There's no sort of game-breaking, broken combos and so on. I'm sure there's good combos, but some of the crazy combinations that we saw various 8th edition codexes just don't seem to be there, which is a good thing. I think there's a nice balance taking place here with these new supplements and codexes coming out. But for Blood Angels, I can't see a problem with this book. I think it seems fine. Decent stratagems, decent Warlord Traits, decent Relics. Stat lines seem pretty good. Sanguinary Guards seem fine. The characters, some of them have been enhanced. So all in all, I think it's pretty good for the Blood Angels. And they've got their supplement ahead of some of the other Space Marine chapters. So It's time for experimentation, I think, so you can keep a lookout and look forward to that for the Blood Angels. I do like the Firstborn models and the models that are unique to the Blood Angels. We'll see if we can make that work and try out some new units, new combinations, and try and think of a new combination for a successful army that will work well in 9th edition and be a good representation of the Blood Angels on the battlefield. That's the review. Thanks again to Games Workshop for sending me a copy ahead of time. You can check out gamingfigures.com. That's your 40k at a discounted rate. But that's the review. Keep a lookout for more reviews on the channel. Thanks for watching and tune in next time.